Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Wednesday, November 25, 2020. Deutsche Welle report. Cyclone Nivar. Tens of thousands evacuated in southeast India. Indian authorities evacuated tens of thousands of residents from low-lying areas of southeastern India on Wednesday as Cyclone Nivar approached the shore. The Indian Meteorological Department (IMD) said Nivar was likely to make landfall between midnight of the 25th and the early hours of the 26th of November. The storm was packing winds between 120 to 130 km per hour, 75 to 81 miles per hour.
CNN report. India bans more Chinese apps as tensions remain high. India has banned dozens more Chinese apps, drawing a rebuke from Beijing and further straining already tense relations between the world's most populous countries. We firmly oppose the Indian side's repeated use of national security as an excuse to prohibit some mobile apps with Chinese background, Zhirong, spokesperson for China's embassy in India, said on Wednesday. The statement followed the Indian government's announcement on Tuesday that it was banning 43 more apps, many of them Chinese.
Deutsche Welle report. Germany. Angela Merkel agrees to compensate gay soldiers over discrimination. Homosexuals who faced discrimination in the German military before 2000 will have their records cleared and given financial compensation, the German cabinet agreed on Wednesday. The approval from Chancellor Angela Merkel's cabinet came 2 months after Defense Minister Annegret Kramp-Karrenbauer issued an official apology for decades of discrimination and published a study documenting systematic discrimination in the Bundeswehr from 1955 to 2000.
BBC report. WWF vows to do more after human rights abuse reports. The probe comes after a series of articles published last year by BuzzFeed News. These accused the WWF of funding and working with anti-poaching guards who allegedly tortured and killed people in national parks in Asia and Africa. We feel deep and unreserved sorrow for those who have suffered, the WWF said. But some accused the WWF of a lack of contrition after the report's publication, and have demanded apologies and a change in how the charity is run.
Deutsche Welle report. Hong Kong leader Carrie Lam vows to restore order amid political chaos. Hong Kong's leader vowed on Wednesday to restore order to the former British colony's political system after a year of massive pro-democracy protests. Chief Executive Carrie Lam, the hand-picked leader, praised a new security law in a speech to a gathering of almost exclusively pro-Beijing lawmakers. After a year of social unrest with fear for personal safety, Hong Kong people can once again enjoy their basic rights and freedoms, according to the law, she said.
CNN report. Conservatives find home on social media platforms rife with misinformation. Among tweets containing baseless claims about election results, Fox Business host Maria Bartiromo echoed a rallying cry of many prominent conservative voices in a tweet shortly after Election Day. I will be leaving Twitter soon and going to Parler. Please open an account on it Parler right away. Others who've been active on the alternative social network Parler in recent weeks include Fox News host Sean Hannity, radio personality Mark Levin, far-right activist Laura Loomer, Senator Ted Cruz and Congressman Devin Nunes.
Fox report. 27 Illinois veterans die of coronavirus in nursing home, prompting probe. State officials in Illinois are investigating a coronavirus outbreak at a veterans nursing home that infected nearly 200 residents and personnel and killed 27 veterans. Illinois Gov. J.B. Pritzker's office and the state's Department of Veterans Affairs are attempting to determine what caused the outbreak at the state-run LaSalle Veterans Home, according to multiple reports. The department on Tuesday requested an independent probe into the facility, which was the focus of a state Senate committee virtual hearing on the outbreak.
CNN report. Nearly 100 whales die in mass stranding in New Zealand. Nearly 100 pilot whales have died in a mass stranding on the Chatham Islands, New Zealand's Department of Conservation said Wednesday. Some 97 whales and 3 dolphins died in the stranding, which Conservation Department staff were alerted to around midday local time on Sunday. A power outage in the remote location of New Zealand's most eastern islands, around 500 miles east off the country's South Island, meant Department of Conservation rangers did not arrive at Waitangi West Beach until 3 p.m.
BBC report. Kylie Moore Gilbert, lecturer, released by Iran, in prisoner swap. Kylie Moore Gilbert, a lecturer at Melbourne University, had been detained in Iran since September 2018. She was tried in secret and strongly denied all the charges against her. According to Iranian state media, she was exchanged for an Iranian businessman and 2 Iranian citizens who had been detained abroad. They have not yet been named. News of the exchange came on Wednesday in a statement on the website of the Young Journalist Club, a news website affiliated to state television in Iran.
CNN report: Thanksgiving could be the mother of all superspreader events, health expert warns. The coronavirus pandemic is raging across the U.S. as cases explode and deaths spike. More than 2,100 COVID-19 related deaths were reported Tuesday, the highest single-day number since May. The United States recorded more than 171,000 new cases, Johns Hopkins University reported. A record-breaking number of patients are hospitalized at more than 88,000, the highest number of COVID-19 hospitalizations since the pandemic began and the 15th straight day of record admissions, according to the COVID Tracking Project.
BBC report: Coronavirus. How Europeans are preparing for Christmas and New Year. So with Christmas fast approaching, governments are having to make tough decisions on whether to ease restrictions in time for the holiday period. Here's a breakdown of what's been announced so far. Many Italians head to the ski slopes over Christmas and New Year, but Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte has warned against these traditional breaks. We cannot afford it, he said. It means popular ski resorts in the Alps and Dolomites are likely to lose out on billions of euros in festive revenue.
Al Jazeera report: Eternal genius. World mourns Diego Maradonas' death. The football world has gone into mourning after the death of Argentinian football legend Diego Armando Maradona, with tributes pouring in from all over the globe. Long considered one of the greatest players, the 60-year-old superstar who led his country to a World Cup title in 1986 died on Wednesday after suffering a heart attack in the city of Tigre. Here's how the world reacted. Argentina President Alberto Fernandez declared 3 days of national mourning, expressing his sorrow for the loss and thanking Maradona for having existed.
Fox report: Ethiopia's prime minister urges world leaders to avoid interference in Tigray conflict. Ethiopia's prime minister is rejecting growing international consensus for dialogue and a halt to deadly fighting in the Tigray region as unwelcome, saying his country will handle the conflict on its own as a 72-hour surrender ultimatum runs out on Wednesday. We respectfully urge the international community to refrain from any unwelcome and unlawful acts of interference, the statement from Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's office said as government forces encircled the Tigray capital, Mekelle, with tanks.
Fox report: Milder than average Thanksgiving week temperatures for much of U.S. An area of low pressure moving into the Mississippi Valley will bring some rain and thunderstorms, some of which could reach severe limits with the risk of strong winds and hail. This system will then push across the East Coast on Thanksgiving. Light snow will fall over parts of New England. We're not dealing with a severe weather outbreak or major disruptive travel event. The Northwest will see rain and mountain snow today with a bit of a break on Thanksgiving.
Al Jazeera report: Saudi activist Luyan al-Hathloul's trial moved to terror court. Saudi Arabia has moved the trial of prominent women's rights activist Luyan al-Hathloul to a court for terror-related crimes, according to her family. Al-Hathloul, a prominent women's rights activist, was arrested along with about a dozen other female activists in May 2018, just weeks before Saudi Arabia lifted a decades-old ban on female drivers. She went on a hunger strike in October for several weeks to protest against her prison conditions.
Al Jazeera report: At least 41 killed after bus and truck collide in Brazil. At least 41 people were killed after a crash between a bus and a truck in southeastern Brazil, state police and the fire service have said. Images broadcast on local TV on Wednesday showed an eviscerated bus near the city of Itaguaí in São Paulo state, roughly 350 kilometers (217 miles) west of the state capital São Paulo City. The death toll was expected to rise further, state police said in a statement. We know there are more victims in the wreckage of the vehicles, but we don't know how many, it said.
Fox report: Berlin police, car with slogan on side hits Chancellory gate. Berlin police say a car crashed into the front gate of the German Chancellory building housing Angela Merkel's offices on Wednesday morning but appears to have caused little damage. Spokesman Hartmut Pieth said police are on the scene investigating the incident but had no details about injuries or arrests. Rescue crews on the scene confirmed the man driving the car was being treated in an ambulance that remained in front of the chancellory.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.